Pound for pound, y'all. Pound for dadgum pound. This video is because of Dstyle. So first of all, shout out to Dstyle, him and his homie Cali. They had a very good dialogue about the pound for pound issue. Had that interesting discussion. Y'all go check it out. And this is my take on it. I'm going to expound upon the pound for pound discussion just a tad bit. Here's my 2 cents. Now the pound for pound, y'all. The term pound for pound did not originate with boxing. Y'all look that up. But when it was applied to boxing, it was originally used to describe and coin the legendary late great Sugar Ray Robinson. This is when the term became famous, because I'm sure it was used for a few fighters before Sugar Ray Robinson, maybe not. But at the pinnacle of the term in boxing, it was used to describe Sugar Ray Robinson, who was in the top 3 of all historians and most fans' pound for pound all-time list. Shit, I was watching a documentary on ESPN Classic some years back, and in it, they said it's Sugar Ray Robinson in the class of his own, then below him is the top 10 pound for pound. Now, here might be some reason for calling Sugar Ray Robinson pound for pound, and this only is going to be on the weight issue, just the weight. As an amateur, Sugar Ray Robinson fought from 125 to 135. And I'm pretty sure that's flyweight and lightweight. It's either flyweight and lightweight or bantamweight through lightweight. But that was only as an amateur. Then as a pro, now remember, we're dealing with the tried and true original 8 weight classes. As a pro, Sugar Ray Robinson fought from welterweight to light heavyweight, winning world titles at welterweight and middleweight, and was en route to beating Joey Maxim at light heavyweight. He was up on the scorecards, but he passed out on his stool due to heat and exhaustion. They had to change refs. It was crazy. Some people counted it as Sugar Ray Robinson being stopped, but really, the man was just exhausted, about to die in the ring, fighting light heavyweight. Dude came up as a, lightweight in the amateurs, all the way to light heavy. Anywho, but this is why Henry Armstrong is always a top pound for pound list as well, because he had world titles in 3 weight classes, and at one point, all 3 weight classes simultaneously. That means he had them all at the same damn time, y'all. Man, that's amazing. That Henry Armstrong is the mother flushing truth. From lightweight to middleweight. So if you could imagine comparing to now, if you had every title from lightweight to middleweight to back then back then was only 3 world championships from lightweight to middleweight. Nowadays it's 5 or 6. So just on principle alone, just on the fact alone that it was more weight in between the weight classes, and it was more tried and true fighters as a whole in the golden eras, a pound for pound fighter back then, it is way more tougher than a pound for pound fighter for now. That's just my opinion. And the fighters back then are better or more suited for the term pound for pound, because it was just 8 weight classes, and dudes really had to jump up and, fight some bammers to get recognition at a higher weight class. That's my opinion. Well, rather, that's my hypothesis, because it's an educated guess. Now, most people say Floyd Mayweather Jr. is pound for pound #1 in the world at the moment. And it's hard to argue against that. It's difficult to say that he's not pound for pound #1. And personally, I think he is. I do think he is pound for pound #1. And here's why. Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s style is great for longevity. It's great for precision, and it's great for winning at any weight class. You could take his style and go to any weight class, and he'll do well at any weight class. All right, granted, he rarely takes chances and risk, and he calculates his career well. But the dude trains hard, he can adjust in the ring, and he can outbox most boxers, if not all, in any weight class. So, pound for pound means that, for example, if Ali was a welterweight like Floyd Mayweather Jr., he could beat him, or Floyd Mayweather could beat him. So if Ali was a welterweight like Floyd Mayweather Jr., he could beat him, or vice versa. If Floyd Mayweather Jr. was a heavyweight, he could possibly beat Ali. Y'all get it? Now, pound for pound spans all weight classes, all right? Every single weight class, from the lowest to the highest. So here's my pound for pound list right now. And this is in no order, by the way. I got Cotto, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Kovalev, Roman Gonzalez, aka Chocolatito. Y'all check him out. Terrence Crawford, Guillermo Rigondeaux. I will put Brooke and Ward on my list, but they're just not active enough for me. Pac-Man, B-Hop. Well, I would say B-Hop, but he's a little too old now. As of last year, I would have said B-Hop, but, after that Kovalev fight, wow. Before the Kovalev fight, I would have put him top 5 pound for pound easy, but after that fight, I'm on the fence with that. Let's see, who else? Triple G. Triple G is definitely on the pound for pound list. Vladimir Klitschko, you got to put him on there. Even though deep in my heart, I think he gets his ass whooped at welterweight, middleweight, lightweight. I think he'd only do well at light heavyweight or heavyweight in this day and era of boxing, I might add. Now, I will put Kameda on there and Linares and Payallos on there, but who have they fought? How many champs or top contenders have they beat? Or are they at least KOing people? Are they knocking people out at least? Kameda does, but has that joker even left Japan? I mean, has he came out from under the rock and traveled around and beat top contenders and champions from around the world? I'm not sure. Y'all got to look that up. And that's another thing. Have any of these dudes, Kameda and Linares, have any of them went up or down in weight to beat a top contender or a champion? I know Chocolatito has beat champions in weights before him. Pac-Man's done it. Floyd, Cotto. Who else is possibly pound for pound? Lomachenko, he's on the rise, but he hasn't done enough yet in my opinion. But, he's yet to be on the top pound for pound list. Now, I got a bone to pick with D-Style. This ain't nothing serious. This is good old spirit of debate. But here's my bone I need to pick with you. D-Style, you said that first of all, D-Style, you had great points. You brought up great arguments, and you even made me think about some things that I didn't think about before, all right? But I almost spit out my dadgum drink when you said pound for pound, Areola could beat Floyd Mayweather Jr. Now, that's the only thing I totally disagreed with. D-Style, I think you fell and bumped your head on that one, bro. I really do. You went overboard on that one. But just to put my opinion out there, Floyd Mayweather Jr. would Super Saiyan stomp Chris Areola into the ground. Now again, pound for pound, what does it mean? And maybe I should do more research, and maybe I should go into deeper depths of what it possibly could mean. But for right now, to me, and for what I know, pound for pound means that, example, if Chris Areola was a welterweight, he could beat Floyd Mayweather Jr., making him better overall as a pound for pound contender, as a pound for pound higher than him. Or if Floyd Mayweather Jr. was a heavyweight, Chris Cholesterol Areola would beat Floyd Mayweather Jr. That's what pound for pound means. You gauge and judge a fighter in every weight. All right? That means you take them out of their weight class and you put them in another weight class and you judge how they would do against others based on their style and their skills. And that's how you can determine a pound for pound. Now, in cases like Henry Armstrong, Sugar Ray Robinson, Pac-Man, they actually scaled through a larger range of weight to beat and or become world champion. Y'all got that? Do you understand that? So Armstrong especially, he scaled from 135 all the way up to 160 and beat world champions all the way from 135 to 160. How many pounds is that? That's 25 pounds. Pac-Man, I think he came up, 35, 40 pounds? I'm not quite sure, but he didn't get, he wasn't undisputed champion in none of his weight classes. Now, back to Areola and Floyd Mayweather Jr. So if Areola was a welter, I just got to say that Floyd Mayweather Jr. would just whoop him easily. He would outbox him, and hell, he'd probably make it look worse than he'd probably knock him out. As a matter of fact, if Floyd Mayweather Jr. was a heavyweight, I know he'd knock Chris Areola out. If Rigondeaux was a light heavyweight, I think he outclasses Kovalev. Just my opinion, y'all. Just my opinion. And that's how you gauge the pound for pound. And all this is just speculation, all right? From my own personal analysis and me, watching the fighters and me being in the ring and in them ropes and in that square circle myself. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, that is how you gauge pound for pound. We love boxing.
Sucker, you ain't nothing. You too ugly to represent us color folks. These Africans think all of us ugly. Sucker, look at you. You out, sucker.